What are you looking at?
We're here.
Welcome to another Whisky Boys vlog. For this one, we're visiting Dallas, Texas. We're actually here to go to the Ironroot Whiskey Distillery. We're gonna be doing a full day of a tour there, whiskey tastings, a dinner, everything. That's gonna be fun, but also we came a day early so that we could explore Dallas. It's a big whiskey city, not because they have a lot of whiskey distilleries, but I would say mainly because they have a lot of restaurants, a lot of bars, so that'll be really fun to explore. Today, we're going to a place that just got a Michelin star, I think for their cocktail program. We'll find out more when we go, but it's gonna be called Rye. We've also had other people tell us that they're one of the best restaurants in Dallas, so that'll be really fun to check out. And then we're gonna do a dinner here at the Hilton that we're staying at. And they have a really good whiskey collection as well, so it'll be fun to try some whiskeys there. And then later we might check out a cigar lounge, another cocktail bar, or something like that. So that's what we have planned. Jeremiah is currently just landed at the Dallas airport, and then he's coming to the Hilton. We'll pregame a little bit, get ready, and then go out to these spots. So it's gonna be a blast. Come along with us, another Whisky Boys weekend, and let's see what whiskey we can find. Look who's officially here.
Hello.
So leaving the Hilton now, and we're about to head to dinner at Rye Restaurant, I think it's called.
Yeah, I think so. Or, I don't know.
Bar. But I heard they have amazing cocktails. Besides that, we love food too, so that'll be fun to try.
Yeah, I can't wait.
So we're at Rye in Dallas, Texas right now. To give you a better look at some of the dishes we've been ordering. What do they say this is?
Beef tongue.
Beef tongue?
With a seaweed salad. Should we try it?
Yeah, go ahead, try the whole thing. A live reaction. You can't do it?
I can't.
Tastes like human tongue.
It's great.
Super
I like
good.
that. Yeah.
I actually got 4-gate, my first one. Don't know if this is the first one I should have gotten, but it was finished in sherry cask, Australian sherry cask. It's a really interesting color, but it's also an interesting taste. So you gotta like sherry. I was kind of looking for more of a bourbon, but this is not bad. I would try more at 4-gate, I think is what I would say. That's it.
I just ordered myself a flight. I've been going through some barrel bourbons. Yeah, like the brand's called Barrel. I'm sure you've had some of them before. We got Seagrass, a rye single barrel, Dovetail. Absolutely fantastic. I'm actually surprised. I've always liked Barrel, but this flight is truly blowing me away.
I'm full.
It was a lot of plates, full tasting menu.
13, 11, 13, something like that. But yeah, I mean, I was pretty impressed. There were some like wild things in there. Kangaroo tartare.
Kangaroo tartare is insane. Espresso chocolate bar at the end for dessert.
Very yummy.
I will say, for the Dallas people watching this, because I'm sure this will go out in the Dallas algorithm, great whiskey selection.
Yeah.
They just won a Michelin star for the cocktail menu, which I thought was good. We only tried like 2 cocktails.
I know, it was funny because like we just went with some pours and stuff like that, but which were actually, I would try 4-gate again.
Yes.
That was my first time having it.
I thought it was tasty, and then the barrels, once again, if you've never had a barrel whiskey, you can pick up almost anyone at the store, and I think you'll be impressed in a way.
With a combination of food and drink, A+.
100%.
Out of everybody, you should know.
All right, next stop is up to the top floor of the Hilton for...
Is it outside?
It's a steakhouse. It's not outside.
Okay.
But they have a lot of good whiskey, so we're gonna go check it out.
Say steak.
We just had dinner, bro.
I need more steak.
No, you need a steak because we didn't have any.
Hey, don't talk bad about Rye.
You like my hair?
My ears popped.
Oh yeah, that's... Thank you so much.
You're welcome, thank you.
Wow.
That's how you get dessert. Hey, sometimes I get full, but I'm never too full for dessert.
You got a sweet tooth, dude. Look at this.
We didn't film a lot because we were just enjoying steak. We just went from rye with a full course dinner to now going to the steakhouse at the Hilton Anatole.
How much weight do you think you just gained?
I think I'm gonna throw up.
Dessert? We eat dessert, bro. It's crazy.
But I will say the steak was fantastic.
Steak was so good.
And then they did a single barrel, which was for the Hilton in Dallas, Hilton Anatole. They had a single barrel Garrison Brothers, as well as their steakhouse had their own single barrel as well, and it was the hazmat, so like 130 something proof.
But really good.
Yeah, really good. So that was cool. Now we decided to have Kelsey. She went back to the room. We are hopping in an Uber before 11 o'clock. It's 10:05 right now, and we're gonna see if we can make a cigar lounge to just relax a little bit before another crazy day of whiskey drinking tomorrow.
Maybe see you there.
All right, we found a cigar lounge with a piano player playing some sick tunes right now.
Blues behind you.
All right, we were looking for a cigar lounge in Dallas. I think this is the best one we could find. It's Chamberlain's Steakhouse. It's a little up north. I think it was Addison. They have a cigar lounge in the back, piano, great whiskey selection. Well, I shouldn't say great whiskey selection. Decent. I got myself a Weller 12 year, an Oliva?
My father.
Oh, my father. We switched over. I've been drinking too much. But this is a cigar that we enjoy a lot. I think it pairs pretty well. The 12 year has a lot more oak. It's a drier cigar, which I think a drier whiskey goes well with cigars because it kind of brings out more flavor in the cigar. But I think this is a pretty cool spot. This is how we like to end our nights. Our little Nelly girl is on our trip with us, coming out to the distillery. No, but she's actually just gonna stay at the hotel.
Great, so day 2, we're checking out of our hotel in Dallas and then heading over, it's about an hour away, to Dennison, to Ironroot. So our first time there, excited about that, and I got to try some of their stuff. I love the cigar blend.
Yeah.
I think they have like a 99 corn, but last night at Ride, we saw like a lot more bottles, so
Yeah.
I'm interested to see. This is their 10-year anniversary.
I know, I didn't realize that they were around that long.
Yeah.
And if we did a top 5 Texas whiskeys, I would say they might be in that list, but we're gonna find out today.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll get to the brick house and get to try a bunch of different stuff. And I think I saw like cocktails and we got a variety of things.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun day.
Oh, wonderful, okay.
Some welcome cocktails to start us off. What do you think about it?
Cider?
They said cider. Did you hear what else they said?
They use barrel aged maple syrup.
We got a whiskey pour for Kelsey here. I love this glass.
I know.
Have you tried it?
Yeah.
How's it
Delicious.
taste?
Yeah.
It's good?
It is very good.
And look who's also on the tour with us. Nelly. Nelly. Hi.
What's Nelly gonna drink?
That was the one that was in the cocktail, right?
Yes.
I just want to make sure.
I think I'll do one too.
So it's just a blend? Or
So it is a blend. If you actually look at the front, it has on the card suits the states of origin. So you have Texas, Kentucky, and Indiana. Yes.
And we even actually put a shirt it's on.
Yes.
Also on the back of the labels.
Wow.
So Jonathan has made some wonderful friends through the whiskey industry, distilling, and so
Thank you.
these are some casks that we selected from a couple of different distilleries, including Kentucky Artisan that does Jefferson, our friends up at Green Green River. It has some MGP in it, and each one of them have their own specific profile, so they're bringing to this blend.
Amazing.
It also features some of our iron roots, so you get a combination of the pot and the column. It's going to be bourbon throughout, so it's just a really fun project that he was able to bring all of the really unique components of the different distilleries together into the sleight of hand.
Really nice.
And like, such a great name and design.
Yeah. Absolutely. And you'll also see here in a little bit the sleight of hand rod that he's also had some really fun opportunities with as well.
10 years ago and opened the doors, it was 30 degrees, and this was the outdoors. This has been an expansion, and we were at that point drinking hot apple cider moonshine. So we've come a long way in 10 years. We are thrilled to have you.
Texas come from really different backgrounds and a lot of different teachers. In fact, most of the distilleries in the state are going to be doing things quite a bit different from each other. If you go back to the beginning, our good friend Dan Garrison, when he was starting out, he actually had a master distiller named Dave Pickrell come and help him set up a lot of their processes at Garrison Brothers. And so while their distilling style is not going to be what you see done in Kentucky, a lot of the other parts of their process are kind of based on that Kentucky model. Our friends at Balcones, a lot of what they did early on is actually based a lot more on the Scottish distilling model. So if you go there, you can see the big giant pot stills. You see they've got a lot of their mashing process is really very similar to what you're going to see some of our friends over in Scotland doing. As for us though, we're kind of the weirdos up here in the north, to be quite honest with you guys, because my brother and I, we don't come from a whiskey making tradition. My parents didn't make whiskey or even drink that much whiskey before we started this. But my brother and I were actually taught by a master cognac distiller and his apprentice named Nancy Fraley.
Sobre Mesa, and that means welcome to our table. And so I'm going to welcome you to our table. And it was that fateful Christmas dinner when Robert is getting ready to graduate from law school, and we're sitting around our table, and I'm celebrating because you know what? Written my last check to college. I'm making plans, I'm traveling the world, I'm done, right? And Robert says, he says, you know, I'm getting my JD in May, and we're saying, yes. And he says, yeah, but I have no intention of practicing law. And at that point, I'm glad I'm drinking wine. I'm just kind of drinking. And John, who always tries to keep things light in the family, looks at him and he says, well, Robert, what is it that you think you're going to do? Start that distillery? And he said, yes, I am. And that's where we came to our table. And we welcome you here as part of our family. And we will be sharing our table all day and night with you. So here's Robert to tell you all about our distilling.
We knew our friends at Balcones had done some stuff with some blue corn, and we knew that tasted different. And we said, well, what happens if we use different flavors of corn? And typically in bourbon, you end up seeing things that are going to be flavored with wheat or rye, and they call that their flavoring grain. And they said, what happens if we have other types of corn in there? What does that do? What if we actually used other types of corn as a flavoring grain? And that sent us down a rabbit hole. So we were hunting for grain to see what the different flavors were going to be. And what ended up happening was I was reading through this catalog of corn stuff, and there was an article about these guys in the Appalachian Mountains, and they were moonshiners, and we talked about this corn that was Bloody Butcher corn, and they've been using it for a long time for the flavor. Now, if you guys ever read a corn catalog, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one in the room that has, so if you read a corn catalog, normally it'll say, there's this type of corn that has good corn flavor, and this one has good corn flavor, and that doesn't really tell you a whole lot, right? So on this one, when they started talking about the Bloody Butcher corn, they had tasting notes on it. They're like, it's got these bright red fruit notes, it's actually a little bit sweeter. My ears perked up, and I was like, hey, that's a little bit different. And so we were on the hunt for flavor, and so we wanted some of that corn. Now here's the problem. Bloody Butcher corn was not commercially available at that time. So what I did and I'm ashamed of this, I bought a seed packet and I made John and Marcia grow the first 50 pounds of Bloody Butcher corn for me in their yard. And so they did it, they hand shelled it and everything like that. And so we actually tested out the Bloody Butcher corn. We threw some cornbread, like that actually tastes better than the regular yellow den. And then what we did is we actually took some, we put it into a batch of whiskey, and we used it as a flavoring grain because we didn't have a whole lot of it. And it was wildly different. We knew that there was something very different about this whiskey. And so we started searching for more types of corn. And so I'm going to show you guys Bloody Butcher real fast. It sounds really scary. The name actually just comes from the color. So this is going to be Bloody Butcher corn. It's got this dark red color to it. And so this is, actually this one's actually grown for us. We actually have this one grown more locally now. It does grow in the local area.
It's a brighter, lighter flavor. Oh,
What do you think?
I'm not a big raisin person.
It's a fun exercise.
Yeah, because this is used for blending, right?
I like the cherry in it. Not the raisin.
The first one we tried, the caramel and vanilla waffle, for sure got a lot of notes out of that. Did they say what the whiskey is? Is this the Barrett?
Yeah, right.
Oh, sleight of hand.
The raisin.
That one was like almost spot on.
Really?
Cherry and raisin, yeah.
Wow.
And you're gonna like it. This is where you get your dessert. We gave you cheese curds before, now we're gonna give you dessert. We're gonna move into that nuance. And we have a lovely apricot and raspberry shortbread. What
do you think, Kelsey?
It showcases still a little bit of that the base with it, but
I like the
adding
whiskey
that
on
apricot and raspberry.
with the
It
cherries
just
and the
gives that
golden raisins.
nuance of that little bit of flavor that we enjoy, adding complexity to the whiskey.
You gotta get those in cookies.
This is what I really love about the use of our
So, yeah, we're looking to
hops,
see if we can
because
find the
it
notes
layers
in the
so
whiskey.
many different flavors within the whiskey, so that as you sit and you drink your whiskey, the first time you might find more of the caramels and the vanillas, but if you sit and spend time when you drink your whiskey neat, you start developing and tasting those flavors. I think that Lincoln Henderson, I think, said that a good whiskey tells a story. And having been, drilled in English as a student.
Do you feel like there's any apricot in the whiskey?
We're going to say, what does a good story have? It has a beginning.
I'd say like a hint, but I feel like I pick up more raspberry.
Yeah. I could see that.
It's good. I like it with the apricot
I know, but she's pairing them. And I think you're supposed to be searching for the notes.
Adding the flavors from the pot
Apricot.
still and all
Yeah.
the different grains we use.
Okay, do the flip. It would be funny if it fell off when we recorded it. Yeah.
So let's start at the bottom. Guess what? We're back at stroopwafel again.
Oh
But
yes.
this time, we're doing the
Back to the
snickerdoodle,
waffle.
which means we're going to be
Snickerdoodle.
adding a little more cinnamon to it. So it's not going to be the same flavor, but very similar. Because we're
saving that one
talking
for
about
now.
that major base that John talked about.
It's not
She
gonna-
likes
You know, is the corn,
snickerdoodles.
and yellow den corn is the biggest portion of
She
it.
can have my
And so
shortbread.
we're going to have things that you can see that are similar, but as we move up our ladder.
What's this called again?
we're gonna have some different tastes.
Harbinger.
Which I think Harbinger is part of the cigar blend.
They use that, yeah. As
Right.
So we use quite a bit of European oak for bourbon production.
How clear that is.
I'm like, where are you getting these waffles from? Where's he getting these waffles from?
But that's something that we started early on. We were in the middle of a barrel shortage when we first started out, and we couldn't get any American oak barrels.
Yeah.
And so we talked to one of the suppliers in Independent State and said, well, what if
Yeah,
we bought European?
that's fantastic.
And they're like, oh yeah, nobody wants that right now, you get that.
More high
Only the
proof,
vendor
sure,
on the list can buy whatever he wants. And so
All right, just finished this tasting here. This is something special, right?
Yeah, it's like their side project, Ironroot side project. So they'll actually use a little bit of Ironroot in the finishing. They'll finish in cognac, Armagnac, the Hungarian wine cask. I don't even know how to pronounce it.
The Tokaji or
Or Tojai, whatever.
Tojai.
Toji? Toki? But yeah, delicious stuff. I mean, I was really impressed with this. Super well-rounded, really flavorful stuff. So
Yeah, I'm trying to get a bottle actually.
I hope to get a bottle, yeah. But yeah, I guess we're going to go into the warehouse now and try some stuff directly from the barrel.
Drinking from the barrel, which is one of our favorite things to do.
Had a beautiful brass bell. And when we asked them about it, they told us that it was very traditional for their cellar. And when we heard the story, we brought it home to Ironroot. So right now,
We didn't steal their bell. We got one.
actually, our friend Daniel heard our story, and one day this bell appeared. It's a 150-year-old Bowie bell. And would you give it a good ring? A good ring. Do you feel that vibration? Well, you know what? So do the barrels. And what happened is that when we heard the story, they said that in cognac, you don't create the spirits for yourselves. You create them for your children or your grandchildren. And every day at 3 o'clock, they ring the bell and they say, it is for us to remember. And it is, just as that vibration went through you, it goes through that barrel and back to us. And what it does is it connects us, and it connects us as a family for Ironroot. When we ring the bell, we welcome you into our family, and we remember all of the people that came before us, that work with us. We've lost some very dear friends in our 10 years. We remember them. But we also remember that without our coopers, without the people that are in the fields, that if we don't have all of the people that work here, the people that are even, work at the water treatment, all the things that it takes to create this whiskeys, we can't do it alone. But most of all, we can't do it without you. You're one of the most important parts of our story and of our puzzle. And we want to thank you and welcome you to Ironroot, and hope that as you taste that barrel and enjoy the whiskey, that you know that we made it for you. Welcome to the family.
So, for the... You're here a lot, right?
Yeah, we're here about twice a week at least.
We tried.
So let's see. We can do the rum, so we're really getting some
That's
pretty
so
good.
cool.
Yeah, Martinique rums.
Wow.
And they've been in there a long time because we used to do the heritage, but we had to hold it off because there was so much call for the others that we only have so much that we could do. So these have been sitting here.
Yeah, whatever some of your favorites are.
Yeah, we'll start at this one. So it's a rum finished bourbon. It's about a 9-year-old bourbon that's been in that rum cask for now 3 years.
Wow.
The 9-year-old bourbon in the rum cask for 3 years.
Yes.
All right. Let's check this out. Do we just let it go?
Yeah, drop it all the way to the bottom.
Oh, we need your glass. Do you have your glass,
I
Jeremiah?
have it.
Okay, cool.
Oi, baby. All right, brother.
You pour it in, because I'm double fisting here, and then I'll drink it from you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Give us a initial thought. I want every note, and it better be correct. He's going to tell you if it's right.
Ooh. Is that a spice? There's a little spice on there.
Yeah.
In a pleasant way.
Mm-hmm. So typically Martinique rums are going to be a little more on the vegetal side than they
Yeah.
are on that kind of big, dense caramel molasses.
I
thing.
thought, yeah, I was expecting a way more like...
Heavy, right?
Yeah.
And these tend to stay more into that floral, fruity character.
Mmm. Oh, man.
It's nice.
That's nice.
I'm going to try it
You're
from
gonna
yours.
try it?
Yeah.
That was 2015 was the distillation of
heck?
the whiskey originally.
Yeah, that rum almost comes off like herbaceous tones, celery seed. You're getting into that kind of
Oh, wow. Much more earthy.
chocolate earth, yeah.
I was expecting like a lot of just sweet banana even. You
Yeah.
know, but like it's earthy.
fantastic.
Thank you. And it's I bet it's sitting at 120-ish.
Yeah, I mean, the highlight today so far has been the pours that you were involved with them.
Thank you.
Seed sally's great too.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
We gotta get our hands on a few bottles. You said that was available.
Yeah,
total.
Oh, it's already available. Okay.
Oh, this is not.
No, the Saints Alley.
Yeah, Saints Alley is, yeah.
Because we were like, we got to get some of those bottles. They're so good.
So again, we don't have to finish it. You go on there. It's fine. So it's a PX cask, Pedro Jimenez sherry cask. This is actually one that we started out early on. So how many years ago now?
We've been finishing 4 years, I want to say.
4 years.
4 years, wow.
So it's been in that cask for 4 years.
Okay.
And it's probably now, the bourbon's probably 10-ish.
10 years
maybe
old.
Yeah, 10 years old.
Wow.
So it's
So-
right here. It's gonna be super dense, so I'll let you know right now. This is gonna be.
It's a heavy.
Do you have your glass?
I'm a pro with this. Oh, no, I need a glass. Gotcha.
Here,
Is that your
We have
glass
an
there?
extra?
I got your
just
glass.
dip it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You weren't kidding.
PX sherry finished bourbon. Wow. Oh my goodness.
That is dark.
Thank you.
Call that coffee.
All right, it's going to be that quick. I already know all the notes. Well, super unique. There's like peppers.
Gimme, 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 gimme.
That's another one that's earthy as well.
Earthy cola note. I would go like cola nut on it.
Yeah.
And then it gets into man, it's dark fruits like.
Dude, this is the other one was very delicious. This is very unique. In my opinion.
You're right on the.
What do we do with this?
Yeah, we can dump right back in.
And you just leave it there.
But again, with that figs and.
It's almost like a little spiciness. Not spice like, but like actual spiciness. Like almost a jalapeno or something.
Put a little chocolate on there too.
It almost reminds me of the one single barrel we did.
Yeah.
But more of the notes.
Mm.
Wow.
All right, well, if you combine our names, Dad, it's Danger. It's Danica and Granger, so Team Danger. So that's the Brangelina of. And so I didn't want to put Danica's barrel out without Granger's barrel, and Granger's barrel actually helped balance out Danica's barrel quite a bit. So Danica's barrel, 100% yellow dent corn. It was the very first thing we ran off the still. First thing Robert and I did as professional distillers at that point in time. Yeah, professional. And so, and then Granger's is very similar, except for it's got 5% of it is a malted wheat. And so it was one of the few wheaters that we had done early on. And so both of them American oak on those guys. So I do want to taste that one first?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
So Granger's barrel, how old is it?
Range, so 107 months goes to over 8 years, almost 9. So Granger turns 9 next month. So.
Do you know what I asked them when they ran that first still? I looked at them, I saw that huge still, and all I said to him is, I hope you don't blow us all up.
Spoiler, I didn't.
All right, guys.
Do you have a toast?
The proof, 127.8 is what that.
Do we have a toast?
Nailed it.
There's constant difference.
Yeah. Okay.
Damn few. There's the pit.
It smells like it.
It's fantastic.
So when we first started making whiskey in Texas, the whole industry here was young enough that a lot of people were telling us that you couldn't age things longer than 2 or 3 years. Now, to be fair, a lot of those guys were using small barrels at the time, and longer than 2 to 3 years in a small barrel may be a little harsh. But so we set out. We knew we wanted to age these a long time, so we ran them deeper on the still. So there's more tails in there. We knew it was going to take a lot longer for them to develop, and actually Danica's barrel didn't taste very good for the first 4 years. because of that, we had faith that it would eventually turn into something good. And it was about year 5, I think, when Robert started saying, "Oh, yeah, no, that's on a good path for us."
Yeah, what was I think my favorite comment, we had Nancy Fraley here, I think it was 4 weeks after our first distillation. And so we had it in barrels and we were so excited, and she went with us back to taste the whiskey that was in the barrels. And I'll never forget, she pulled a sample of that barrel and she tasted it and she looked at me and Jonathan, she goes, "Oh, that's gonna age a while." So,
It's a real nice way to put
yeah.
that. Yeah.
We're like, all right, yeah. Because I think the cut on that was at 48%, I think is where we cut it on the back end. Yeah, or 46%. We're still learning the steam controls on the still at the time. So this particular blend is a really fun set of barrels. I think they're ranged from about just over 7 years old to about 7.5 years old that went into this particular blend. So it's obviously much older whiskey. This one we decided to do a little bit more intense than some of the past releases that we've done. So this is the 140 proof. So this is the big guy. This is a big, I'd say a little bit more oak focused than the last one that you guys have tried.
They just had 150 proof.
Yeah, you guys are good. You already had 152 proof today.
All right, we're done with all our events, and I'm going back to the airport now. What are some of the thoughts that you had over? We did Dallas one day, Ironroot last night.
Yeah,
Any thoughts?
only 2 days here, which was super quick, but I think we got a little taste of Dallas, even though it was just one night there. I think there's a lot more restaurants and bars we have to visit.
For sure.
Houston, I don't know. Houston seemed a little bit more fun, honestly.
Interesting.
But that was maybe because I got to go to a couple whiskey bars, and we really didn't have a chance to go to specifically whiskey bars.
Right.
But we're definitely going to explore Dallas more often. Ironroot was definitely the highlight, in my opinion.
Me too.
Yeah. Because I went into it thinking, oh, cool, it's another Texas whiskey. Let's see our thoughts. But I think if we did a top 5 list, they're going to be in that list.
They have to be on it, in my opinion.
Yeah. And then the other thing that really stood out was the amount of expressions they have. I thought it was just they have 3 or 4 releases that are out there. No, they're doing over 20, 30 different type of releases that are going to be out in the future.
Yeah, and they're constantly tinkering too. Like, they're always working on something new. I've just found that so interesting.
Yeah, what was like some of the what was the one we tried the second tasting, not the first one?
The cigar blend?
Not the cigar blend. No, when we sat down at the table, it wasn't the first set.
Saints Alley.
Saints Alley.
So that was like their own separate line within, or under Ironroot, or in collaboration with Ironroot. And man, that was so great.
Yeah, it was
some
like
of the finishing,
port finish, cognac finish.
Yep.
Which at first sometimes people are weird about finishes in like the whiskey world.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, it really did. I don't want to say smoother. It made them have like more balance to it. Like it was an easy sipper with a lot of flavor to it.
Really good sipper, yeah.
And actually now I'm mad because we wanted to buy a bottle and we never did. We just ended up leaving to watch the Jake Paul fight.
Oh, what a waste of time that
Which was such a waste of time. Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, and we went to like a local dive bar. Wasn't even worth filming. But at the place, Netflix wasn't working at all. I'm sure y'all were dealing with that too. So somebody was doing it off of their phone for us to watch it. And then on top of that, you could tell. I'm not saying the fight was rigged, but they definitely weren't going all at it. I felt like Jake probably could have knocked him out because Tyson seemed slow. Or Tyson was also holding back because he just didn't look that impressive.
I didn't even see one punch thrown.
That's what I'm saying.
It was like all in the air.
It was so quick, so boring. It was a moneymaker, and honestly, I'm all for them like having these fights to like have big events. But I don't like the idea of like, we're going to keep watching it if they're going to be doing stuff like this. So next one, I'm going to be super cautious if I'm going to watch that fight or not.
Yeah.
But anyway, overall, Ironroot was a major highlight. We are fans. We are going to buy their bottles. If you're looking to try more Texas whiskeys, we do recommend buying them. The Saints Alley was something that I need to get a couple bottles of. They said it was Total Wine, I believe.
Yeah, Total Wine in like 38 states or something. So
yeah, so that's perfect. I'm gonna grab some of those bottles. That was a fun little trip. We're gonna put out more vlogs like this. Please, if you can, hit the subscribe button. That helps us. That helps for you to pop up on the algorithm. We're just getting started. This is like our 3rd vlog or 4th vlog, depending on which one I put out first. So Thanks for watching, and we're going to be doing more whiskey trips in the future.
Cheers.